What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen that I was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. It says Trump ain't playing. This is at Chicago One Ray. Y'all can follow, or just check out, more and more, posts, on X. It says Ilhan Omar is finally one of his justices. JD Vance is going after the fraud in Minnesota that's linked to the Somali community that took place in her district. She put $30 million in her bank account in just 1 year. So it's definitely pretty wild, Shout out some clips, though. President Trump, JD Vance, what they got to say, even Stephen Miller. But right now, I'm going to just show y'all, a couple clips that I seen, a couple posts that I seen, about what's going on, more about Ilhan Omar and the Somalians in Minnesota. Says Ilhan Omar orchestrated this political career as a setup for the largest welfare fraud scheme in history. She ran for office to pass legislation that would transfer money from taxpayers to her friends and relatives, which I've been saying for a while. Obviously, it's one of those things that's common sense. We see clearly that they're only for, she's only for Somalians. Even Tim Walz and Mayor Fraud there, but she's really for Somalians when it comes to her family, when it comes to, her friends. I'm telling y'all. Check it out.
We've just uncovered the largest welfare fraud scheme in history, and at the center of it, a very famous congresswoman.
Ilhan Omar found the blueprint pretty early. She's clearly been in this for personal gain. She's made tens of millions of dollars since she's entered Congress. And what do you know? We find that her friends are getting rich in the process too. This is intentional. It's by design. Ilhan Omar was the individual in Congress who introduced this legislation that ultimately led to Feeding Our Future being able to defraud $250 million. And you gotta laugh because just the other day, she's complaining, well, it's because we don't have guardrails in place. And that's why these third parties were able to go steal from taxpayers. Well, Ilhan, you were in charge of setting up the guardrails.
I'm gonna be honest with you. For $30 million, I'd probably marry my brother too. We've just...
Not gonna lie. That's pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie. That's a wild statement. But then again, you see on how bad, things have gotten. You got here, ICE agents have start raiding Somali restaurants in Minnesota. Obviously, I'm not saying nothing here. Obviously, the left is, pretty mad, about this. But one thing about it is that something has to get done. I'm not the only person that is wanting, something done. I know y'all are wanting more and more done. Because it's about that time. You know what I mean? It's truly about that time. And it's definitely sickening that you have individuals that truly don't support this. Truly. You got Stephen Miller here, just exposed, the whole Democratic Party. Check out what he says here.
But what we found since President Trump came into office is that the Democrats have set up a system to funnel hundreds of billions and ultimately trillions of dollars to migrants that are in our country, oftentimes from places like Somalia. So as an example, ICE recently asked a group of illegal immigrants that were in detention whether or not they were receiving Medicaid. Half of them raised their hands and volunteered that they were on Medicaid. Just volunteered that. These aren't the ones who are hiding it, right? They also asked illegal aliens how they paid their medical bills, and they said that if they don't have Medicaid, they go to hospitals, they get free care there, and they bill it to the taxpayers. So they aren't paying for any of their own health care in this country. It's just one example. And we've seen this over and over and over again. So under President Trump's leadership, and then of course with JD and the head of the FTC, Andrew Ferguson, we're going to see the first ever effort in American history to reclaim the ultimately trillions of dollars that were stolen from taxpayers.
I'm telling y'all, and I truly, truly can't wait. Now, that's one thing with them arresting, when it comes down to a lot of these Somalians, but when is it going to be truly, when it comes down to Ilhan? And I told y'all before, when it comes down to Ilhan Omar, I don't know about y'all. I don't even think an arrest is the call for it when it comes to Ilhan Omar. I feel like it's more so of, and I'm going to show y'all a clip. I feel like it's more so of that, when it comes down to deportation. Or just, what I mean? I feel like it's more so of that rather than, and I mean, this prison time, but I definitely feel her going back. And I say this because it's more so of her not completing. And I know this is about to sound wild. But it's more so of like her, she's trying to complete a mission. She's trying, and she is, she's doing a lot, but I feel like it's bigger than that. I truly feel like, and I'm not, I'm not here, I'm not trying to, go that way, scaring nobody, but I truly feel like it's definitely something, just seeing how things are. And it's not just in Minnesota either. There's other places that this is going on. And not just when it comes down to the fried, but when it comes down to attacks also. Says right here, Ilhan Omar says Somalis who don't support them should be expelled. I can read off some of this, what she says. She said, when a Somalian person becomes an enemy, they become a serious one. There are people like that living right here in our city. We all see them. Some of it, I'm trying to spare y'all because she's obviously not speaking English. So I'm trying the best as I can. Some of us try to dismiss it, saying, oh, that person just talks too much. It doesn't mean anything. Or leave them alone. That's my relative. You probably met them in coffee shops. You know exactly the kind of people I'm talking about. You've sat with them at Starbucks. Maybe you've seen them once in a while. Maybe you've gone to their parties. You know what I mean? You've seen them. We need to get rid of these people. Oh. We'll never gain power and move forward as Somalians as long as these people live among us. Bro, does that say that? Hold on, let me go back. Live among us. Yeah, she's wild. And if we don't kick them out, the same people Somalians we try to defend, they're the ones who wanted to see us in jail. Which, again, you see how bad things have gotten. I mean, why wouldn't any individual want that? Who spread lies about us, who make videos claiming that we said things we never said. How do you make a video of saying things that you haven't said, but you clearly, like, I'm so confused about that. Like, how do you sit there and say something like that, but then again, their own video lying, their own video getting caught up themselves? Pretty wild. Said, and well, what happens is there's no way to defend ourselves. I can't keep saying all day I didn't say that because I've got work to do. We're busy doing our job defending you Somalians, protecting this country, creating laws. I can't waste every day fighting against accusations of what they accuse me I said on videos. If that's your responsibility, your job is not to welcome those people. Bro, one thing, how do you, I'm just confused. How do you speak this way? How do you speak this way and you're living in America? Like, you live in an amazing country. You obviously then skimped your way to having over $30 million in your accounts. Like, what is going on? I mean, truly, this is insane to me. It gets worse, though. It truly gets worse. And I say this gets worse because it's like Ilhan Omar doesn't stop. It's like Ilhan Omar doesn't stop at all. Each time, that I see Ilhan Omar and I see her pop up on X, I look more to it. I try to see. Says she leaked Trump administration war plans to the Iranian government. Sharia law supporting radical Islamic Democrat Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota is alleged to have taken millions of dollars in bribes. Bro, this is insane, bro. Allegedly, y'all. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem is reportedly exploring legal options to revoke the citizenship of I like how they did that, Ilhan Omar, and deport her the hell out of our country. This is exactly why President Trump didn't want to brief members of Congress before launching his attack on the world's largest. And that actually makes sense. I feel like I thought about it, but I really wasn't thinking about it. And that's truly the right way to go, because situations like this and having Ilhan Omar, and that's why I feel like she took it that far and she's making it a big deal, because she wants to know more and let people. I'm telling y'all, you got Gavin Newsom, you got AOC, you have a lot of individuals that talk to other countries and literally speak ill, speak. I'm talking about sickening about the United States. Like, they just don't have a good life here, or better yet, they're not in office. Like, I truly do not get that. I truly don't get that. Got it right here. Ilhan Omar is accused of committing marriage fraud, allegedly. Allegedly, I'm naming all these things. I got to say this on YouTube. Marriage fraud, tax fraud, immigration fraud, student loan fraud, perjury. I can't say bribes. I can't say some stuff, but I tell y'all, definitely check it out.
Congresswoman Craig to initiate an ethics investigation into Congresswoman Omar because of questions about federal tax fraud, federal immigration fraud, federal student loan fraud, and state violations of perjury, bigamy, kickbacks, and acts of campaign fraud abuse in Boston, Washington, New York, Chicago, and Florida. There are also violations of state ethics or of the Minnesota House ethics rules regarding colleges for speeches she gave while she was in partial control of their budgets as a member of the House Higher Education Finance Committee in both 2017 and 2018. She was found guilty of the violations by the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board 3 weeks ago in order to return those funds on June 6th. Ms. Omar appears to be a serial career criminal and should not have access to our nation's highest secrets and intelligence. That is why I'm calling on our Congresswoman Angie Craig to protect both our national security and our respect of the rule of law. Tax fraud, immigration fraud, student loan fraud, perjury, bigamy, kickbacks, and campaign abuse fraud from the East Coast to the Mississippi River.
I'm telling y'all, it's everything. That's the end of that video. Everything is truly insane to the point where it's like, what else? I mean, what else is it to possibly? I mean, you're getting out. It's so much information, so many things that's out, and I know that they have to have more. It's more so of, just like this comment says, where are the arrests? What most of these comments are saying, where are the arrests? I'm telling y'all. Check out what this is JD Vance. Check out what JD Vance says.
Let me just tell one story. One of the things that even before this executive order was signed that we were able to stop under the president's leadership is we saw evidence that in Minneapolis there were Somalis, primarily illegal immigrants, who were defrauding a Medicaid program that was meant to go to autistic children. So they were taking children who were supposed to get benefits, and they were claiming that their kids were actually autistic even though they weren't. And what did this mean? This meant two things. Number one, you had a lot of people getting rich off of the fraud while American citizens got poorer. And the second thing that it meant is that you had autistic kids in Minneapolis, in suburban Minneapolis, who weren't getting benefits they needed because Somali fraudsters were literally stealing out of their pocket. It's got to stop. And unfortunately, that kind of fraud is one example of probably hundreds just within the state of Minneapolis, and then it's repeated and replayed all over the United States of America. Let me just tell
I'm telling y'all, it's truly, truly sickening when it comes down to it. Truly sickening. Says right here, this is Juanita Broderick. Trump had a few words, few choice words about, Ilhan Omar. Can't say too much. And people are literally saying that they hope so, when it comes down to deportation. Not only Ilhan Omar, but stay tuned for the next video, Zara Mandani as well.
I mean, I have no worry. I don't know how they take away my citizenship and deport me, but I don't even know why that's such a scary threat. I'm not the 8-year-old who escaped war anymore. I'm grown. My kids are grown. I can go live wherever I want. I mean, I have no worry. I don't.
Truly. Ben, how about you? I mean, it's one of those things. Just leave there. You know what I mean? Here's President Trump. Says he believes not only Ilhan Omar, but Tim Walz as well. When it comes down to both of them being prosecuted for it. Says there's no way that much fraud can make it through without anybody noticing. Check it out.
And what they've done is so sad. When you look at the Minnesota scam, a lot of it has to do with Somalia. Nobody's calling out anybody, but a lot of it has to do with Somalia and plenty of others. And I believe the governor is complicit. I believe Ilhan Omar is complicit. I believe that your attorney general is complicit. And if they are, you're going to hopefully find out about it, and you're going to have to do what you have to do. If we found half of the fraud that's taking place in this country, and I think you have a chance of doing that, we would have much more than a balanced budget. That's the kind of numbers you're talking about. The theft is incredible. And I think JD will make, and Andrew will make a charge later on that local states should handle nursing homes and all of these things that the federal government shouldn't be involved in. It's too big. The federal government should handle military and a couple of other things. But when it comes to nursing homes, you saw where a young gentleman was going around and knocking on doors and none of the nursing homes existed, none of the nurseries existed. The money that's being paid out, and the federal government pays for it. When you see all these people coming in illegally into our country, many criminals, many drug dealers, murders, 11,888 murders, and you look at California, and more come in, and yet they never had money, and yet they pay them. You know why they pay them? Because the federal government is charged with paying. We're not paying them anymore, and I said that. So these two...
I'm telling y'all, it's definitely one sickening thing, and I want them to be able to do something about it. You have this post here, says no Muslim should be in public office in the United States. Do you agree? People commented. I want y'all to let me know. Not only that, says the president has to be born in the United States to run for office. Shall we make it that way for Congress too? Me personally, I truly feel that way. If you literally have to where the president has to be, born in the United States to run for office, I truly feel like it should be the same rules, the same laws should apply, when it comes down to individuals, as, Congress. So I truly feel like that's something that I can definitely say, that I would agree on. I definitely would agree on both of those things. It's truly sickening that you literally have that. And I'm not even trying to make it seem like it's more so of a race thing or anything like that. I feel like it's just too much going on. It's definitely too much going on. It's been too much going on. The way that they're talking. You not only have Ilhan Omar, but you have other Somalians making videos on TikTok, Instagram, on social media, laughing and thinking that it's okay because they have, these benefits when it comes to housing, assistance, when it comes to food stamps, when it comes to transportation, and on top of that, they having their own businesses and within this fraud and becoming millionaires so quick. I mean, it's all of that. I mean, you literally have hardworking taxpayers that are truly doing everything they can, paying taxes, doing what they need to do, and you have Somalians. You have a lot of when it comes down to Muslims that truly just don't care. Not only that, you have violence. So truly, I agree with you. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next video dropping tonight. Catch you on the next one.